This is the Kulay Himes Podcast.
Isang makulay na araw ulit sa inyong lahat and welcome to another episode of the Kulay Himes Podcast. My name is Himes, Haymz, and gusto ko lang i-introduce yung guest natin tonight. First time natin dito sa podcast niya mag-guest, no? And she requested na gawing or tawaging The Royal Review ang segment na to. Of course, I'm talking about Meghan, not Meghan Markle, pero Meghan Israel. Welcome to our podcast, Meghan. Wala akong background music, so pinapalakpakan ko lang.
Oo nga, sayang
manual yung mga tao. Pero pag nag-upgrade ako, baka pwede kong masingit yung mga sound effects. Anyway, Meghan, former office mate ko yan sa dati kong work. So yun, very avid fan ng Golden State Warriors. Lagi nagpo-post yan about Golden State and nagko-comment din yan sa ating Kulay Himes page. So anyway, any message sa mga nakikinig, kung may nakikinig man?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm overseas. So, iba ang time zone. So, apologies if maging pangit ang quality. But, yeah, it's my first time. And thanks kay Himes for giving me the opportunity to talk about something I love,
yes,
which is
sir.
basketball in general.
Yes, sir. All right. So, yun. Welcome to the podcast and thanks for making time. I know it might be pretty late dyan, pero at least we made it work. All right. So, yep. Like you said, yung isa sa mga topic na gustong-gusto mong pag-usapan, more than basketball, of course, your favorite team, the Golden State Warriors. And we are all tied up, 2 games apiece. Game 5 is tomorrow ng I think 9 a.m. no? And a lot of people thought maybe after nung game number 1 na blowout ng Golden State dito na mahihirapan tong Houston Rockets, but here we are. Game 4, Houston nanalo sila doon and getting back home court advantage for the series, and hopefully we go 7. Ako as a fan gusto ko makita ng 7. But yun nga, we were talking about it earlier. What do you think, try not to be as biased siguro, pero ano nakita mo dun sa game number 4, no? Game 3 kasi sobrang blowout, diba? And then game 4, it was fairly low scoring dahil for the series usually nasa hundreds, higher hundreds. But both teams less than 100 points nung game number 4, and yun nga, it went down the wire. First game na umabot down the wire. Ano yung nakita mo for both teams? I guess maybe you can start with Golden State. What went wrong, or you know, what ano yung nagkulang dun sa laro nila ng game number 4, that's why Houston was able to steal one on the road?
Yeah. So I watched the game all throughout, and actually I made some notes kung ano what was effective first, second, third, fourth. Pero since the pivotal part was literally the turnaround on the fourth quarter, so yun na lang, doon tayo mag-focus. So normally Golden State became what they are in the third quarter. They had their run, ended the quarter with a 10-point lead, carried by I think it was 5 out of 6 3-pointers galing kay Steph Curry. So that pushed them up to 10. But then again, 10 points is not a safe lead, not by a mile. So I think one of the key differentiators there is medyo matagal na para sa akin medyo matagal nakaupo si Steph sa bench. He came in the fourth quarter. I don't think he started the fourth quarter. I think he was reinserted na lang around the 7-8 minutes. So one factor yon, I think.
Okay.
Especially since napakaliit na lang ng rotation ng Warriors eh. They were rotating 8 to 10 people na lang. Also factor din, they missed 8 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. So that's and they didn't convert as much as they did in the third quarter. Hindi ko alam if it was a mental thing that they thought it was already in the bag and it was just, playing to maintain the lead. Kasi
Playing, kumbaga, not to lose, hindi na playing to win.
Not to win, exactly. Tapos, pero most of that is, I think in a way you can say na parang it was theirs to lose coming into the fourth quarter kasi they're the defending champions. They should know how to wrap things up in the fourth quarter.
True.
But I think hindi nila in-expect that Houston will maintain their composure. Kasi even I didn't expect Houston to maintain their composure.
Well, yeah. Actually, si Chris Paul lang naman din yung parang naging main factor doon, no? Nung humahabol sila na he was making difficult shots naman, to be fair. It's not like natulog yung depensa. He was just really making shots. I think this is the first game na talagang nakita natin yung ina-expect natin from Chris Paul from the previous series din with the Wolves and with anong nakalaban nga nila no second round? Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz, yeah. Naghang ka quickly lang kung gusto mo i-reset.
Naghang ako ulit.
Yung camera. But anything else na nakita mo dun sa nakita na uli. Anything else na nakita mo dun sa game number 4 for Golden State that allowed nga yung comeback? You mentioned lamang sila coming into the fourth. You mentioned na maybe masyadong matagal na upo si Steph given na sobrang init niya nung third quarter. Shumishimi na, sumasalsa na. So, anything else na parang feeling mo
I think naging factor din ang injury ni Klay Thompson in terms of his mobility. And actually, it wasn't just the fourth quarter. All throughout the game since nagkaroon siya ng knee injury.
I think that was the second quarter nung na-encounter niya yung tas he went to the locker room.
Yep. He wasn't doing his normal he wasn't spacing the floor as well as he normally would. So parang naging stagnant ang offense dahil parang when someone has the ball, wala na yung mga cutters. So parang yun, factor din yun. And I'd say overall factor din a little bit na wala si Iguodala.
Yeah. Si Hamptons 5, Hamptons 4 lang sila last game. But speaking of Iguodala, no, maybe we could talk about him a bit. What particularly yung feel mo na mi-miss ng Warriors with Iguodala na hindi mo pwedeng gamitin si Iguodala?
Una is IQ. He has one of the highest basketball IQ, and yung defensive tandem nila ni Draymond Green. That's syempre Draymond was doing a good job from the first to the third quarter, even in the fourth. Pero syempre you get fatigued all throughout the game at wala yung normal mong katandem. How Andre pressures the ball very well. Yung mga pasundot-sundot niya laging effective. And since they didn't have that all throughout the game, it was a factor. But then again, from first to third quarter, they were in control of the game. So it was hardly an excuse for them to say na wala si Iguodala. But if he was there, probably they had better control hanggang sa dulo.
Alright. Pero yun nga, questionable pa rin siya sa game 5. So, yeah, I guess we'll talk about that a bit later on kung ano yung magiging effect naman if in case he doesn't play again in the next game. So you talked about Golden State and what you saw that made them probably lose yung yung lead nila or yung dominance nila for the first 3 quarters. Sabi mo nga, na-control nila even though Houston lamang sila in the half, pero third quarter Golden State came out strong, tapos fourth quarter medyo kontrolado nila yun pero naano lang talaga sa dulo. So going to Houston, obviously they won that game. What did you see na they did differently from game number 3 getting blown out, tapos game number 4 yung defensive intensity talaga nila sobrang tumaas, and yun nga, Chris Paul was able to produce kasi yung other win nila, yung game number 2, it was the bench players na, or at least the role players that were able to produce. Trevor Ariza, PJ Tucker, pero hindi naman sila sobrang nag-produce ng game number 4 but they were still able to pull off the victory. So what do you think, or ano nakita mo na naging advantage naman itong Houston during the last game?
It was mainly I think Chris Paul. Chris Paul's not just his scoring but his leadership. His kahit na sabihin mo it's his first time getting out of the first round of the second round or
Sadly.
whatever. He brings that experience, that maturity and the leadership. I'd say if wala si Chris Paul sa lineup and he was replaced with maybe another up and coming point guard, even let's say Westbrook was in the Rockets with Harden, I think in the fourth quarter they would have dismantled. Nag-implode pa rin sila. It's that leadership, the composure ni Chris
Yes.
Paul. They picked up their defensive intensity. So talagang ginit-git nila yung even si Harden nagkaroon siya ng mga defensive moments in
Yep,
the second
yep.
quarter, in the fourth quarter. So yun. And
Nakita
I think
yata
the
niya yung
coaching
mga
yung
meme
ano niya
about him.
meme niya.
Iniwan siya ni
getting blown
Livingston,
by.
tas sobrang blank lang yung face niya. So, yeah,
Yes.
maybe he consciously made an effort dun sa game number 4 nga to step up his defense. Even D'Antoni mentioned na parang yun daw yung game na talagang nakita niya how good they could be defensively.
Yep. Yeah. So, but Harden was again a disappearing act na naman siya no second half eh. He wasn't as hot as he was in first half. So, I guess yun is another thing he has to work on. But thankfully, meron silang Chris Paul who took the reins and was the leader for the team.
Yep.
So yun. That cause everyone else was stifled. Clint Capela hindi nga makaubra kay Draymond Green. Sa akin isang talagang parang Eric Gordon's performance will dictate where the series will go for the Rockets. So sa akin yun. Kaya sa kanya ako pinaka-worried eh. Pagka mainit siya, kabado ako as a Warriors fan.
Pagka maganda yung, kumbaga, pumapasok yung mga tira niya, alam mo, medyo tagilid.
Siya yung third option nila doon eh. Kasi Harden will do what he does.
Yeah.
Chris Paul doesn't have to score a lot. Pero pag pati si Gordon mainit, talagang nakakakaba.
Yeah. Agree.
It's similar to like how hopefully Klay Thompson explodes at some point in this series if maka-recover siya sa injury niya.
Actually hindi pa nga lumalabas yung laro niya talaga. I think game number 1 lang yung yung medyo okay yung laro niya, but game 3-4 home court nila wala eh. Medyo hindi siya talaga nag-perform up to par. So kailangan nila yung production ni Klay Thompson for the rest of the series, lalo na nga if Iguodala would miss more time. And yung kasi kahit sabi mo hindi naman sobra score si Iguodala, yung spacing din dahil threat pa rin siya kahit papaano sa tres, 'di ba? Hindi mo pa din siya kailangan pabayaan. Hindi yung rotation naka-cut in terms of Looney, pinapasok nila. Tapos pag si Looney din yung nasa court, siya naman sa kanya naman nagsiswitch para doon mapunta yung mga smaller guards. Pino-force nila mag-defend si Looney. Pero pag nag-Hamptons 5 lineup sila, any position kayang i-cover nung Draymond, din nga, ni Iguodala, Durant, ang haba. So yeah, more on the defensive side naman ng Houston, you already mentioned, and Chris Paul's excellence, tas yung takot mo kay Eric Gordon. May nakikita ka pa bang difference maker sa Houston? Not just nung game number 4, but I guess something to watch out for the next game and the rest of the series.
Bench production na to for Rockets, especially going home. I would say they would be more comfortable playing back home. And if they've gained that confidence from game 4 to steal, kasi it's effectively a steal. They stole a game from the Warriors. So, nakaka-build talaga ng confidence yun. And then knowing that they're going back home, so I think mabubuhay ang bench nila. And if that happened, tagilid na naman ang Warriors. So, the bench, kasi from bench comparison, mas lamang ang Rockets, except for the fact na I think 8 tao na lang ang niro-rotate ni D'Antoni eh.
Actually, last game, nung chinek ko yung box score, 7 lang ata. 7 lang talaga yung ginamit niya. Medyo talagang ginawa niya ng tight yung rotation. Only Eric Gordon and Gerald Green ang
nakalaro outside of the first 5.
Outside of the first 5. Pero you see D'Antoni using more of his personnel going to game number 5?
I think he'll keep the formula that he had in Game 4 kasi it works for them. Tapos yung especially pag playoff, 'di ba, laging lumiliit ang rotations. Kasi it's a series, so you know what works, you know what doesn't. So, deep into the series, you don't want to experiment anymore. So, I
So
think
feel
he'll keep
mo,
his
ganun na rin.
rotation.
Seven-man rotation.
Yeah,
Wala na mga
7,
magic bunot.
pwedeng siguro, wala naman siya nabunot na magic eh.
Actually.
Di ba? Sila lang talaga
Sila
yung
rin.
pitong yun
I
eh.
mean, kung sino ine-expect mong gumawa,
Oo.
yun din naman talaga yung gumawa. Except, I guess, for yun nga, yung game number 2, where, well, it's not like magic bunot yun. Talagang uminit lang. Uminit lang din tong sina PJ Tucker, Trevor Ariza. But yeah. How about for the Warriors naman? So, I guess, we've covered what happened sa game number 4 for both teams. Let's focus on what we expect to see in game number 5. So we touched a bit on Houston keeping their rotation at 7. And for Golden State naman, assuming let's say Iguodala doesn't play again, from the last na nabasa ko, Klay Thompson is probable. Kumbaga, pwedeng malaki yung chance na maglaro siya. Do you see any adjustments that Steve Kerr will be doing different from between game 4 to game number 5?
Siguro slight adjustments lang. I think most of their troubles, especially in the second quarter, came from fouls.
Mhm.
Nung game 4, Steph picked up his third foul and had to sit the rest of the second quarter, so doon nagkaroon ng run ng Rockets. So it's always the same story naman for the Warriors. It's their turnovers, it's
Yung mga
ano ba
careless fouls
it's a foul
na
foul
kailangan
foul
iupo.
trouble. Yeah. Kasi they're not, you'd think that they're the best three-point shooting team, but they're not anymore. So they have, siguro balik na naman sila sa mga mid-range jumpers nila. Pero pagdating sa game plan, I think it's just limiting their fouls and limiting their turnovers. Pareho pa rin naman. And maybe more intensity sa defense.
Yeah.
Minsan, maganda ang kanilang pick and roll defense eh. Kaya nga hindi na nung game 4, mapapansin mo, hindi na umuubra yung love passes ni Harden to Capela. There were a lot of
play na yun.
interceptions on that. So at least we know that one's effective. So all they can hope for is that the Rockets go back to their ISO plays.
Yeah,
Para
ISO
mas
basketball. Yun naman talaga yung heart and soul nitong
except
offense
game
ni
2
Mike
kasi,
D'Antoni.
game 2 parang naging ibang team ang Rockets eh. So
Yeah, well,
I was expecting them to keep doing it like that anong game 3. Kaso it was a blowout. But at this point, I think it's anyone's series. Personnel availability will play a big factor. So if Iguodala is not available for game 5 onwards and Klay Thompson is 80%, then I think mahihirapan talaga ang Warriors.
Okay.
They should expect 100% production from Durant and Curry. Even Curry is not even 100. He may seem 100% in terms of his shooting, his penetration, pero I think yung chemistry with the team is still not 100%.
Kulang pa.
Ang dami niyang mga passes nung game 4 that hindi man lang nakatingin si Draymond. Or
wala pa sa timing.
Diba? Wala pa sa timing. So parang yung chemistry is not yet there. Luckily, they have the talent. So
yeah. Parang yun, hindi mo naman, I guess, ikakaila sa Warriors that in terms of on paper at least, they really have the more talented matchup. It's just unfortunate na nagkaroon nga ng slight injury tong si Klay Thompson and of course Iguodala nga, key players in terms of their rotation, and I think it really makes a big difference din dun sa laro ng Houston eh. Iba rin yung kumpiyansa nila if knowing na walang Iguodala sa depensa, and if let's say Klay Thompson isn't really 100% even if maglaro siya ng game number 5, I think mentally it would somehow give more confidence dito sa Houston that kaya natin tong Golden State kasi yun nga medyo pilay kung kulang sa tao, ganyan, and we still have home court advantage at the end of the day, and nakita naman natin how different din talaga yung team na to when it comes to home and or away games, di ba?
Yep. I think going game 5, home court advantage is not as huge as a factor as we thought it would be.
Mhm.
Because obviously in the first 4 games, both teams split. Actually, game 5,
Sabagay. Dito
unless
sa
sobrang
dito sa West pwedeng manalo sa road eh. Sa kabilang
oo.
series kasi
Eh,
the home team always wins.
eh. So sa akin, hindi siya ganun kalaking factor anymore. I would if at least makapaglaro si Klay Thompson, I think slight edge pa rin sa Houston just because of the home court. But if Iguodala plays and he's healthy, I'd give that edge back to sa Warriors in game 5.
Okay.
Kasi hindi
okay.
rin natin masabi.
Yeah.
Hindi natin masabi na what the game 4 win gave the Rockets. Did it give them confidence or did it make them complacent kasi they're going home?
Sabagay.
Hindi natin masabi.
Pwede rin.
So, kasi they got home court advantage back. Worst case,
mag-relax.
mag-relax sila. Which is what happened with the Warriors in game 2 and what happened to them in game 3.
Okay. So, ano na lang, let's go to predictions, no? You did have some conditional parang I guess prediction na din na kung maglaro, then I give the edge to Golden State. But let's say same lineup, game number 4 to game number 5, walang Iggy. Who takes game number 5?
Wala si Iguodala. Game 5. Hirap ah. I'd say I'd give the edge sa Warriors pa rin.
Warriors pa rin.
Pero hindi malaki.
Do you think it would be a close game or blowout?
It should be a close game.
Okay.
If I would be very surprised if either team gets blown out.
Mm-hmm,
If the Warriors get blown out, I think they lose game 6.
Interesting. Okay. So
I think
yeah.
If any of which team gets blown out, their series ends sa game 6.
I see.
Ganun yun. Regardless of which home court.
Do you think na this series would go 7? Or
It can go 7.
if the Warriors take 5, you think tapos na to ng 6?
50-50.
50-50. Okay.
I don't put anything past the Rockets.
Ayaw mo
I think
talagang
they can do it.
maging sobrang confident
Ayaw ko
sa
maging
ano.
overconfident. Kasi the Rockets and the Warriors are similar teams. They can get complacent. So, if it goes to a 7, then I give the big edge to Warriors. Because it becomes a mental game.
Okay.
And I think
the experience would
favor the Warriors. I don't think Harden is ready for a game 7 mentally. Only Chris Paul probably is.
I would agree. And somehow that's ironic kasi Chris Paul hasn't been in this stage, pero James Harden has actually been in the NBA Finals. He has been in the Western Conference Finals din, pero I would agree na parang kung umabot man to ng do or die game number 7 for all the marbles, it just might be Chris Paul na merong mas composure compared to what Harden might produce if we do come down to 7 games.
Yep.
All right. So, any last things? Any last inputs na you think you want to add dito sa series na to?
Well, I think it's starting to shape as the series we all expect it to be. Itong last 3 games should be the series that we all wanted it to be. Close games, down the wire, last minute shots if possible. Sana lang hindi siya I don't want to be that type to call it out, pero I hope it's not the kind of series that will, dahil close game will be dictated by officiating.
Yan.
So I think let them play.
Let them play.
Let them
no?
play.
Mahirap pag may controversy pa na ano
equally.
eh.
Mahirap eh. Especially if it's a close game. Even the game for last half a second
Actually.
half a second foul, di ko naintindihan yun eh.
Parang tinawag pa nila, tapos muntikan pa mag-overtime yun, naiiwanan si
away from the ball pa yun.
Si Curry,
away from the ball foul pa yun. So,
pero,
parang
yeah, I guess, nireview nila and may time pa daw, so parang napasama,
so,
napasama pa for the Rockets, muntikan pa sila dun.
Yun.
Okay. So, again, thanks for your inputs. Do you have anyone na kung gusto mong batiin siguro or ano, kung umabot man sila sa point na to, yun lagi namin sinasabi, kung umabot man kayo sa point na pinanood mo yung video and nandito ka pa, baka may shoutout kang makuha from Megan.
Yes.
Do you wanna greet anyone?
Sa shoutout ako kay Jello, kay Angelo Di Manari.
Oo!
Dapat siya naman ang next guest.
Boston
to talk
Celtics.
about the Boston and the
Yan.
Celtics and
Pwede,
the Cleveland
pwede.
Cavaliers.
Jello, kung nakikinig ka man, set natin. Sabi mo, busy ka. Pero si Meg naman, it's just what? 30 minutes of your time? Kahit cellphone lang meron ka pare, walang problema. We can set it up. But yeah, Jello, shout out. And congratulations to your Celtics for going up 3-2. Siguro one last thing pala. One last thing. Sa East, quick question lang. Celtics or Cavs?
If it goes to a 7, it's Cavs. Kahit home court ng Celtics.
You think yun yung game na makukuha sa wakas ng Cavs sa home ng Boston?
Yes, because it's LeBron.
Hindi ko first time marinig ang rational na yan. LeBron.
Because it's LeBron.
He's the king.
It's the opposite of because Harden's not ready. It's because
Baliktad.
Game 7 is LeBron's
Doon naman,
game.
sobrang kumpiyansa mo kay LeBron na kung umabot yan ng 7 games, he's just gonna show yung kumbaga, makikita mo lang talaga yung pedigree na meron si LeBron.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so that wraps up another episode of the Kulay Himes podcast. So we'd like to thank again yung guest natin. I hope, similar to my other guest, that this won't be the last time na makita kita or makausap kita about the NBA. Maybe we have other topics. We were talking about it the other day din, kung meron tayo off-season. Siyempre, matagal-tagal din yung off-season. And if you do have time, we can always talk about basketball, any topic at all.
Thanks, Himes.
Alright, thanks Megan. And
Thank
Himes
you.
again, signing out. Peace!
This is the Blind Minds Podcast.